System is in place. Great. So, very good afternoon and welcome all of you to the session called the Cyborg Mindset. And I'll be getting started shortly. But before that, just wanted to check if you can just use the chat window and if you can just type in the city you're joining us from so that I get to know where you are coming in from. Kiri is from Bangalore, Shrikant from Hyderabad, Aditya Sai, Mumbai, Partha, Kolkata, Smriti Desai, Vadodara, that's my hometown. Nice to know that. Nadira is from Chennai, Anandita from Kolkata. So kind of a wide mix of people all over India. Aditya, Bangalore, Vishnu, Alapura. I think I got the pronunciation right. Great. Karthikeyan is from Salem. Funny thing, Salem is actually, I have my ancestry in Salem. So yeah, if you can just pick everyone in the drop down. Abhinaba is also from Kolkata. Great. Wonderful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with, before I even get into the PPT, I'm going to start off with something just to get to know you a little better. And for that, I'm going to be presenting a slide. You have a mobile phone with you. So if you have a mobile phone, you can use it on your mobile. But just go to menti.com. So you see the code above. So go to menti.com and use the code 52049106. Okay. So and once I start seeing people polling, I know that you were able to log in. Waiting for, okay, so we got, which of the following? So the first question, in case you've been able to log in, this is an easy question, just to make sure everybody is logged in. Which of the following is not an application of AI? Predicting weather patterns, AI can do it, sure. Writing a novel. See, I'm not saying whether the novel is good or bad. Maybe it's a terrible novel. Nobody reads it. But can AI write a novel? The answer is yes. If I were to upload all my medical history, all my blood reports, whatever, can I have the AI predict my likelihood of contracting something? Yes, which is why it can even diagnose disease. But what AI cannot do is it cannot do things, it cannot sweep for you, it cannot do your laundry, it cannot make toast. And sometimes, I've had students come and tell me, I think there's a popular meme also on that, right? Like the things that I want AI to do for me, AI is not doing, okay? Like household chores. And the thing that I want to do, like writing code or writing, stuff, AI is ending up doing that, right? So great. Let's get to the next question. Hopefully, most of you are logged in. I don't have access to the chat, so let's take the next one. Imagine you have your own AI assistant. What is the first task you would ask it to do? Ask it to handle. Makes you think. Read email and prepare responses. Great. Wonderful point. Large part of my life goes in communication. Maybe AI can, that's a great point. AI can tell you, hey, this is what I can do for you. You tell me what you would like me to do. Suggest best practices in supply chain clearly from someone who's working in supply chain and probably seeing how AI could. I'm just going to turn on a little bit more light. So how AI can potentially help you with something at work. So I would imagine planning my day according to my goals. I struggle with planning my day. So if you are in the same boat, uh, that's kind of comforting, okay? Because I have my day planned, but then things happen, and then before I realize, gets thwarted. So can AI help me with that? Plan my tasks at work, um, read articles and give me summaries and help you learn better, okay? Redefine the sentence. So basically, what you're saying is rephrase what I want to say. My mind has a thought. The words coming out of me are a set of words that are conveying the thought. But I want AI to write a better set of words to convey the same thought. Correct? That's what we want. Make sure I'm not procrastinating and not getting demotivated. Here, you're wanting AI to be like a self-help coach who can motivate you and kind of get you going. Daily documentation related to stuff like preparing Excel, PPT. Yeah, documentation is a chore. AI can handle that. Plan out my daily schedule. I think this goes back to what I said, having your schedule planned for you. Help me deciding the best med for my patient. Wonderful. So you can use AI for that. So I just have a confession to make. I'm not well. I just got a slide this. Hopefully my voice and energy doesn't slack during the session. But I went to ChatGPT. I know this is probably wrong. You should say, oh, Arun, always you should consult some medical doctor. But I just used logic. I just said, okay, I'm taking this. Do you think I can take this medicine along with that, right? Simple questions like that. Uh, Help me devise strategies, make me retain things I read better. Great points. How do I remember things? How do I recollect when I'm required to do that? And help devise strategies. Great, great, great points. So let's kind of, so I see that broadly, 4 responses are around task planning. There are 4 around learning, some related to, in fact, I would say email management is also a kind of work strategy, right? So I think work strategy 4. Daily schedule, I'll put it under task planning. So I think kind of got a good mix. Excellent. So now let's get to the next one. So let me just group it and let me go to, okay. So I just want to get a sense of what toolkit you already have. I'm pretty sure most of you have been using some kind of a AI tool, but just wanted to get a sense. So this is a ranking. So you have to rank in terms of which chatbot. If you have not heard of it, if you have not used it, you can maybe push it down. ChatGPT and Claude. ChatGPT, Gemini, DeepSeek, Claude, Perplexity, but ChatGPT seems to be winning. Just to give you a sense, ChatGPT has 400 million active users, correct? That's 5% of the world population is an active user of ChatGPT. So just to give you a sense, uh, very few people, but someone did mention Grok. So Grok is a tool that was used, that is kind of developed by Elon Musk's XAI. Great. So what we will do is we'll play around with some of these tools. Okay, we'll play around with some of these tools to get a sense which is better, which is worse. My personal opinion is pick one AI tool and stick with it. Right. So there is no point in you kind of changing it. So someone who's a pro user like me, I will use multiple tools. Again, I'll show you how to use multiple tools. So I'll get the same query, and then I have responses from various tools, and then compare and use my judgment. Great. So let's get to one more question. What is one word that describes how you feel about AI? Any word that comes to your mind? Adjective, nouns. Shortcut. That's the first word. Shortcut. Very nice. An AI assistant. Um, Someone said incomplete. So it makes you feel incomplete. I'm trying to process that. Okay. My friend, that's such a nice way, my friend, looking at it as a friend. Dangerous, that's also a word, very dangerous. Um, Future, well, an assistant, scary, exciting, savior, versatile, um, a threat, slacking. Okay, so we have a lot of helpful servant. So someone said an assistant, someone said savior, someone said helpful assistant, servant, scary, versatile, time saver, threat, ease. Very good. Great. So I'm just gonna pause over here. Okay. So it's very interesting how the same tool has different connotations, different ways in which you kind of look at it. So what I'm going to do is, with that, I'm going to start off my session for today, which is how do you adopt a cyborg mindset. And I know cyborg sounds very Black Mirror-ish, uh, maybe conjures images of this movie Terminator. I don't know if you've seen this, the old movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? But I really feel, and I want to present, maybe by the end of this session, hopefully I would have changed the way you look at AI. Some of you said scared, some of you said excited. I hope you leave feeling excited and less scared. Okay. And even if you're scared, it's okay. Because if you're scared, that means you're thinking, right? What do I do now when I have a tool that is at my disposal? Correct? Think like a human, scale like a machine. So you have to think like a human does. So that's the value of a human. But we will also see how you can actually have AI help you augment your thinking. So that's what it is. A little bit about myself. Those of you who know me from Crackverbal know me as a GMAT instructor, trainer. I spent about 20 plus years in education and technology. I started my career in IT. I spent about 10 years in IT doing a variety of different things. I started my career writing C++ code, and eventually I got into project management, delivery management. And then somewhere in 2011, I felt very disconnected with what I was doing at my full-time job. And I decided to go all in, and I started Crackverbal, and I quit my job and I started teaching GMAT. I didn't have any disruptive idea. I just thought, if I'm able to make a better mousetrap, there's very famous quote by Edison, which says that eventually you just need to see what is the problem and how do you give a better solution. So I thought GMAT coaching required a better solution. That's how I got into it. So along with that, I also have another company. I have another where we help people communicate better. So there are two brands, English for India, Wisely. So that's into the corporate communication domain. And whatever I'm going to tell you today, just wanted to give you a sense that these are things that I have learned. This is a personal journey that I've gone through in the last 2 years, because you have to look at it. So think about it from my perspective, right? A large part of what I was doing, or what I still do, is about, let's say, helping people write their MBA application, essays, right? Now, when I first saw what ChatGPT could produce, what AI could produce, my first thought was, boss, if this is going to do what it's doing, all the years of my education, my experience, the skill that I honed so painfully for so many years is gone. Today, anybody can do what I took many years to learn, right? So my initial reaction to it was shock. My initial reaction to it was, boss, if this is what it's going to do, then what does it leave me with? And I want to share with you what I have discovered, that if AI does all of this, then what does it mean for me to be a human, for me to bring my perspective into the equation? So that's really been, I'm not the AI expert, okay, but I'm just a practitioner. So anybody who's got a lot of AI experience writing code, well, I'm not in that realm. I'll be telling you shortly what I do. But I think this is one quote that captured many people's imagination, right? AI will not replace you. A person using AI will. Very popular. And I think the reason it is popular is because it talks about a very fundamental truth, correct? And the fundamental truth is people will continue to exist, businesses will continue to happen, right? So it is not that AI is going to completely take over what you're doing, but if you are competing by doing things manually versus a person who's doing the same thing using AI, there is no way you can compete with that person. Let me make it very clear. See, think about it. I'll just give you an analogy, right? So let's say you are a postman, correct? And there is another postman who has a bicycle. No matter how fast you run, the guy with the bicycle will always beat you because he has got something far more efficient. Correct? So the idea is that you are who you are, but you need a bicycle for your mind. By the way, that's a very famous Steve Jobs quote. Okay, that you need a bicycle for your mind. AI serves to be that bicycle. And many a times, what has happened is I have noticed people having a very wrong attitude towards AI. And when I say wrong attitude, in the sense, you think of it as something that is cheating, right? Something that you makes you feel like you're slacking off. No, you are not slacking off. You're just augmenting whatever you're doing, right? Using AI. So with that, I'm going to kind of go to a point. So what I'm going to do is give you a little bit of history to get you a sense of what Gen AI means to all of us, correct? Now, this is AI is a general purpose technology. Now, what do you mean by a general purpose technology? A general purpose technology is a technology by the invention of which enables mankind to evolve, to get to the next level, to do things differently. This is not a small invention. This is a huge invention that has a massive, scale to disrupt things. And guess what the first general purpose technology was? And I'm going to just ask it in the chat just so that I get to know what you're looking at. So, what do you think was the first general purpose technology ever invented by man? Wheel is a good choice, Aditya. Wheel is a good choice, but you have one which precedes wheel. Anyone else? Most of you are thinking wheel, fire. Fire was not an invention, no? Fire was a discovery, right? By the way, can you just click everyone when you are responding on the chat? Steam engine, Karthikeyan, great choice. Came in a little later. Fire, again, as I said, is a discovery. Tools. It's the domestication of animals. Just imagine nobody in the animal planet, the orangutan is not going with the chimpanzee as its man Friday, correct? The buffalo is not telling the cow to do something, but it's a human which is saying, oh, I'll use the cow for milk. I'll use the dog for protection. Okay, so that's the first thing. Wheel, as some of you guessed, huge. And remember, these are all pre-industrial era. This is from the start of civilization. Sailing ships. Have you ever wondered why the Europeans were so good at navigating the world and why other civilizations did not do as well? Because they had a technology that helped them figure out how to take a ship through, the Pacific and the Indian Ocean. Correct? Large part of trade was because of the ships. How about the printing press? The Gutenberg Bible really helped. So till then, think about it, till about the 14th century, if I had to tell you something, I am hoping you remember what I said. And you then go and tell the other person the same thing, right? And it's a very hard thing for me to, kind of disseminate just through oral. For the first time, you had a printing press which said, this is what Jesus said, this is what, not Jesus said, but this is what the Bible is. And the Gutenberg Bible actually helped with the spread of Christianity, correct? And then you had gunpowder, okay? All major wars were fought on some technological innovation. Gunpowder proved to be key. Let's look at industrial. Some of you mentioned steam engine. That's right. In fact, it started the whole industrial revolution when people realized that boiling water can't do anything. But the moment you take it to 212 degrees Fahrenheit, it becomes steam, and steam can move train bogies. Okay. So that's the power of steam engine. You also had electricity. Just think about it. So electricity. So also I want you to understand this thing about a general purpose technology, that a general purpose technology is not just that technology, but also the technology it enables. Correct? So when I'm talking about AI, right, generating electricity is figuring out what AI is, but inventing the light bulb is what you can do with AI. Okay, I think that's the key for us to remember. And you had, of course, the internal combustion engine. Now, I want you to think about this. Late 1800s, before, or maybe early 1900s, one of the biggest industries in the US was the stage coach manufacturer. Okay, these are the guys who built the coach which were horse drawn. Correct. So the horse would basically, and they would kind of travel. What if someone had told them that, hey, in the next 20, 30 years, you will have these metallic objects that will be crisscrossing the sky, and it'll have people inside it, and they don't need your station wagon anymore? I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have believed you, but that's really what happened when aeroplanes came in, right? So each one of them had its own this. Now, coming to modern era GPTs, what are the modern era GPTs? The first one is the mobile that you have. Started off with the telecom, right? So telecommunications, the fact that we are able to kind of communicate through airwaves. Computers, of course, different forms, but computers in general, the personal computer, internet, and now we have artificial intelligence, correct? And I want you to think about it. See, how many of you remember, I don't know, your dad going to work? I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you guys are old enough to know this, but just imagine someone who's working in 1995. Okay. 1995 is 30 years ago, correct? 1995, there is a very good chance you did not have a computer. There was no mobile. There was no internet. Forget AI. But you still had to go to work every day. I don't know if you remember, your dad probably went to office, did not have a computer. What did you do the whole day? 8 hours. He has to spend doing something. Today, it is unimaginable that you would actually go to work without a computer, without an internet connection, without your mobile. Correct? But that world did exist not too long ago. And as we are getting into AI, we are looking at a new future. Think about 2035. 2035, the world is going to be a different place, right? Everything is going to change, and the next 10 years are going to be crucial. I'm very happy that you guys are poised to reap the opportunity that the next 10 years has. Correct? So, for that, kind of understanding of history, let me come to understanding AI. So, here is something that I wanted to just give as a background, which is AI is not chat GPT, right? AI has been there for quite some time. In fact, the first evolution of AI is 1956, when the whole thing came, Turing test, all of that, correct? Um, then you had a subset of it called machine learning, a subset of it called deep learning. I'm not going to get technical. This is just so that if someone talks to you, you can sound intelligent as well and say, boss, what I'm doing right now is Gen AI, correct? And Gen AI is it's an application of AI. If you are using Google all these years, and if you have thought, well, Google is incredible, that's why no other search engine got into the same space. What do you think Google used? Google used AI. So all your Google search results were dependent on AI. So you have been using AI, just that you did not know it is called AI. Correct? But what we are focusing now is this thing called Gen AI, which can create human-like content, whether it's text, images, code, audio, anything. You can actually create that using simple tools, simple user interfaces. Now, I want to separate, and this is a very important slide, very important for you guys to understand. Someone comes and tells you about AI. Remember, there are two types of AI. First, what I would call as predictive AI. Predictive AI is what I said has been around forever. Google has been using it in its search results, in case you didn't realize. It has it requires a lot of data preparation, correct? You have to have your data, you have to clean your data, you have structured, unstructured data, then you load that data onto, then you do what is called as ML ops, and then you train your model, correct? All of this required a lot of data science expertise to implement, not in the realm of non-technical folks, right? So though I spent 10 years in IT writing C++, one thing I want to clarify is I'm non-technical. I'm a big picture guy, correct? Coding is not something I like, and it's too complex for me, okay? So all of this predictive AI required you to do that, correct? And you had a lot of specific tasks like forecasting, classifications of various things in companies. So all of this was being done. And what I'm proposing is, think about it this way: there is predictive AI, but then there is generative AI. What is generative AI? It's a relatively recent breakthrough. November 30th, 2022 is when ChatGPT released. My brother, who's in the US, sent me this haiku poetry about our family, correct? And I'm like, what? Is this even possible? How could he have done it? And that's when I got hooked. I don't know how many of you remember, but if you do, can you just put in the chat your chat GPT moment? I call it the chat GPT moment because that's the moment when you saw magic. And you say, what? This is possible? And that's really it is very, very simple, user-friendly interfaces. Does not require a lot of technical knowledge. In fact, a large part of Gen AI is going to be prompts, text, right? I tell the AI what I want to do, correct? And I have to speak in simple words, simple English, where I'm telling it this is what it is. In fact, one of the biggest change in user interface is happening with AI. So anyone of you in design, in UX probably know this, but the world of clicking on menu items is gone. I'm going to say that again. The day and age of clicking on menu items and going and selecting and doing all that is gone. That whole interface is replaced by a text prompt interface. I remember there was this course on Adobe Photoshop. Okay, 3-month course on Adobe Photoshop. He'll teach you every complex detail. Go click on this, apply this layer, do this. Now I just need to tell the AI what I want, and the AI does that. Okay. Um, and this makes language lot more important than it was. And I know that it comes from a guy who started a company called Crackverbal, English for India. So for me, language and words have always fascinated me. And for the first time, I realized, ki boss, whatever words I'm using for a human, the same words I can use for a AI. Okay, so that's really where I was able to unlock a lot of realization, and I'll talk about it in the next slide. But and you can create various formats. Today, what I'm going to do is at the end, um, we will create a startup. We will figure out what the startup needs to do. We will do some market research, and we will try to put that in the form of a landing page, maybe even create like a pitch deck, maybe even create some other collaterals, maybe even design. So we'll do all of it, and we will do that in a very short period of time. So I'm going to do it as a small, quick project, okay, towards the end. So you'll spend 10-15 minutes and you'll realize how fast and simple it is for you to do things, right? What I would like you to think of, and if you want to look at a different definition of predictive versus Gen AI, this is a good way to think of it. AI as a product is building your business around AI, correct? So what I mean by that is my entire business is based, so that means I'm teaching GMAT using AI. If I do that, then it becomes building your business around AI. But what I want to submit is, can you build AI around your business, which is AI as a process? My business is still there, but can I make it faster, cheaper, better, through AI? Okay. So a large part of what I'm going to discuss is generative AI. I'm not going to get into the technical stuff, which is predictive AI. All right. So just wanted to put that over there. I'm going to pause here, and then this is the history. This is the background that you needed to know. I can't teach you Gen AI by showing you PPTs. I have to get into a demo. But just before that, I'm going to pause. Any questions, any points, just let me know in the chat window, please, so that I get a sense of, is Gen AI specific to content creation? So Harsha, content could be anything. Code is content. Would you agree? So even code is content, yeah. But it is largely around creating text, creating visuals, images, but it's some kind of content that you're able to generate. Yeah. Any other questions? Anything else? I'm going to get some water. All right. So just do one thing, just to tell me whether my pace and whatever I'm saying making sense. Can you just drop me like something? So just say, give me something which is just some all fine for you, Karthikeyan. Great. Yeah, you can just drop a yes or a thumbs up. Great, Vamsi. Just pick everyone in the drop down. Aditya, Varun, Partha, Ashwin. Okay. So great, Smriti. Glad to hear that. Anandita, Sam. Great. Wonderful to hear that. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you this thing. See, now people are saying, "Yaar, tumko AI aata hai kya? Do you know AI?" I find that to be a very absurd question. Correct? What do you mean by do you know AI? I am not I am not the inventor of AI. I am not, this. But I do know AI because on WhatsApp, my mom uses Meta AI. Yeah. My mom uses that on WhatsApp, she's 78. So my point is everybody is using AI, but how do you define this? So there was a very good Deloitte and NASSCOM came up with this framework, which I think is a very good way for us to interpret how AI is really taking shape. So there are 5 levels of AI. At the foundation, at the base level, is what is called as AI informed or AI literate. In resumes, you used to have knowledge of Microsoft Office. Okay. Today, ChatGPT has become knowledge of Microsoft Office. Correct? If I have a receptionist, I'm just giving an example. I have a receptionist. I want her to know how to use ChatGPT so that 90% of her problems get solved and she doesn't need to come to me and ask me for that, right? So this is AI literate. Okay. This is the first level. Then you have what is called as AI users. How do I make an accountant a smarter accountant? How do I make a marketer a smarter marketer? How do I make a coder a better coder, right? All of these where you are AI users. You are applying AI tools to enhance your everyday work. If you ask me, level 1 and level 2 define 95% of AI users in the world. 95% of AI users are on level 1 and level 2. But now what we are seeing is also level 3, correct? AI integrators. What AI integrators do is they are IT specialists and they are focused on embedding these AI solutions within existing. So there is some amount of technical knowledge required at level 3. Level 4 becomes slightly more technical, where you have AI builders and architects. These are the guys doing DevOps on cloud, correct? These are the people, scaling massive data infrastructures to cater to AI capabilities. Level 4, very few people will be there. Level 5, you will probably have a handful of people. These are the people who are working on the large language models. These are the guys employed by OpenAI. They are paid millions of dollars and they are the best minds, right? You need a PhD to be to be an AI expert today. It's funny because that's the level of detail that they want. So my take is when someone says, "Do you know AI?" The answer is yes, and I know AI as a user. I'm informed about AI, but I'm not an AI expert. I'm not the guy who's building your ChatGPT 4.5. Neither am I a guy who's doing data engineering. There are enough IT guys doing that, correct? Nor am I even claiming to be an integrator. Even that, number 3 requires some amount of tech chops. But I'm happy being number 1 and number 2. Correct? So it's very important for us to clarify where we are in this kind of set of things. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk more about level 1 and 2, but just on the chat window, can you just let me know what level do you think you are or you want to be? Which level are you? Which level do you think you would identify yourself with? Anyone from a tech background could probably pick 3, 4, 5 also. Sam is. Can you just pick everyone when you're responding so that everyone gets to see this? 1, 2, 1, 2, me into want to be 4, 2, 1 to 2, level 2, level 2, level 1. Abhinaba 2 to 5, okay. Half want to be 3, okay. 1.5, okay, that's a clarification. Sam Chandy, if you could just pick all, if you could just pick all in everyone. So 1, 2, Darshan also, if you can pick everyone in the chat, it'll help so everyone gets to see the scores. 4, 1.5 to 3, 1, 2, want to reach 3, great. 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay, great. All of you in some range. But next time someone asks you, are you an AI expert? Make sure that you qualify that thing. All right. So now that we have understood what should you do now, correct? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 3 things that will make you a cyborg. Okay, that's what we started the session with. What does it take for you to be a cyborg? So let's start with the 3 things that is going to make you a cyborg. But before I get there, I want to talk about this very interesting quote. Is this guy called Andrej Karpathy? Have you heard of him? Andrej Karpathy. Andrej Karpathy is the guy who wrote the the autopilot program at Tesla. Correct. So he's the brain behind the self-driving cars. So you can think in terms of his knowledge of AI. He is one of the top AI engineers, right? The guy who thinks about AI. And he had this very interesting quote, and I want to just give this quote to you. Okay. And the quote is, the hottest new programming language is English. What I want is what I need to know. How AI will take care of. If I know the what, I don't need to worry about the how. Correct? And I think this quote has a very deep relevance to all of us because eventually that's what really matters, which is the thinking that you have in your mind. By the way, just a request to all of you. It'll take maybe 10 seconds. Just listen to what I'm saying. Go to the chat window. You see a drop down. It says everyone and it says hosts and panelists. Can you just pick everyone in that so that whatever you're saying goes to everyone in the chat? Otherwise, I just get DMs to me, but I would like it to be for all. Correct? So, what does it mean? It means I need to communicate with AI in clear, simple terms. I'm going to be using English. I'm going to be using simple, basic things to communicate. Now, there is also one of the things that, and I think this is a very good way to look at it. What you have on the left is a centaur, and what you have on the right is a cyborg. So let me explain the difference between centaur and cyborg. By the way, this is from the book Co-Intelligence. I'm trying to check if I have a book with me, not here. But it's a book called the Co-Intelligence by, so I'll talk about it a little later. But this is something that is, so there's a Wharton professor, and he is one of the most widely recognized voices in the AI world. And he talks about this, saying that all of humanity, if you think about it, our tasks with computers were very simple. If I think of it as a centaur, half part that is human, half part that is horse. Which means I go to the computer or the AI or I ask it, analyze this data. I will never analyze data myself manually. Why? Because the computer is going to do a better job. So I go to the computer, I give it an instruction, I get the output, I take that output. Now I go into the real world, talk to clients, talk to people, talk to managers, do whatever. But what happens with a cyborg is a cyborg goes to the computer, goes to the AI, asks the AI something, the AI gives a response, the human then asks question based on that, the AI gets a response, and this back and forth keeps happening for the time the human is satisfied with the output. Have all of you done that? This back and forth? And it's a very crucial thing because when I go as a centaur, I already know what I want. But when I go as a cyborg, I don't know what I want. That is what I'm asking it to pick. If I want to write a blog article, I will probably say, okay, tell me 10 things that I want to write about on this topic. Gives me 10 ideas. From that idea, I'll say, I think this idea is good. Let's pick this. Why don't you give me 5 options for the title? Okay, gave me 5 options. Okay, I picked a nice title. Okay, what could be a nice hook intro para? gives me a hook intro para. I'm refining. This back and forth, what also it does is it allows me to expand this particular faculty of what I don't know that I don't know. Correct? I don't know that I don't know. So when I'm going to the AI and I'm asking it to think for me, it is giving me options which I couldn't consider. My human brain couldn't comprehend. But when it gave me the options, I, as a human, was able to pick the right option that I felt was right. Think like human, scale like a machine. Correct? So when you're scaling like a machine, you want divergence. You want it to go more. But when you think like a human, you converge. You kind of say, okay, of these options, let me pick the ones that I want to pick. So a lot of what we are going to do is based on you being a cyborg, right? By the way, this is from the book Co-Intelligence by Ethan Mollick. Interestingly, Ethan and I were featured on a podcast. I'm going to be giving you the link a little later, but this is a concept that he had. But I thought it was a very interesting concept because I realized that I was no longer a centaur, but I had become a cyborg, right? Um, so yeah, so Karthikeyan, Karpati he just dropped a YouTube video yesterday, and it's a wonderful video on how to use LLMs. Yeah. Aditya has a question, very interesting. Wouldn't completely relying on it make us less efficient and more dependent on it? My question is, I am dependent on my car to travel within Bangalore. So maybe 100 years ago, my great great grandfather came and said, boss, you should be walking. Why are you using this car? You're depending, developing dependence on this car. Maybe, but that is what technology is doing, right? So, see, let me give you another this thing. I had a student who came to me recently and he said, मेरे मैनेजर ने ना, आई होप यू अंडरस्टैंड फॉलो हिंदी, मेरे मैनेजर ने चैट जीपीटी यूज करते हुए मुझे पकड़ लिया. मैंने बोला पकड़ लिया क्या होता है यार, व्हाट इज पकड़ लिया? पकड़ लिया साउंड्स लाइक यू हैव डन सम क्राइम, करेक्ट, यू हैव डन सम सिन. तो आई टोल्ड हिम तेरे मैनेजर ने तेरे को चैट जीपीटी यूज करते हुए पकड़ा नहीं. दैट इज नॉट हिज प्रॉब्लम. उसका प्रॉब्लम नहीं था कि यू यूज चैट जीपीटी. हिज प्रॉब्लम इज यू डिड नॉट यूज योर ब्रेन्स. दैट इज द प्रॉब्लम. Okay, so you have to use your, see, if you look at AI like a crutch, you will feel like you're a handicap. But if you think of AI as jet engine, you'll think, boss, this is a superpower I have. So whether you want to think of it as a crutch or as a superpower is dependent on how you approach AI. The human will never be taken off. Let me give an example for MBA application essays, right? So we use AI, correct? We use, the chatbots. But here is my challenge to you. I will give you the same chat GPT. You try to produce the essays that I can produce. You cannot, I mean, you cannot. That's where I come in as the expert. If I think, अरे यार, मैं chat GPT use कर रहा हूँ, that's a wrong way to look at it. It helps me augment who I am. Right? I hope, is this making sense? Just drop with a yes, others also, whatever I'm saying, because it's a very important point about how you change your orientation looking at AI. Correct? Great. Thank you. All right. So with that, let me get to how to prompt. So I'm going to give you some effective prompting guidelines. But again, remember, when I show you the prompt, I will tell you, Sam Chandi, that point, I'm going to talk about that point. Okay, I'm going to talk on that point. So good point. You picked that word, critical thinking. So just be with me for the next 10 minutes. I'm going to get to that point. So now, how do I talk to a AI? Correct? You talk to AI the same way you talk to a human. Many times what happens, we forget. We think AI can miraculously know what I'm thinking. Not true. You have to be specific. First thing, you have to be very specific. What is the task? I have seen more often than not people telling a lot of things, but not telling the AI what you want it to do. Okay, so that's the first key. Be specific with your task. Provide context, as much context as possible. Give a context dump. I will tell you what a context dump is, but give it context dump. Give it everything that you think it should know about that particular task. Tell it examples. You can give it examples of what you want it to do. You can give it a persona. You can make the AI think, for example, if I'm facing a complicated problem related to work, let's say related to business, my go-to thing is act like a Harvard MBA who has worked in McKinsey, Bain, BCG kind of consulting firms, and who has about 10 years of experience, and you are paid $100,000 to give me this advice. When I say this, the AI suddenly improves the output. I mean, it sounds weird, right? But the output gets increased. I can also ask, give me consulting frameworks. It's bang, bang, bang. It'll give me all the consulting frameworks I know. Correct? So persona, format, what output do I want it to be is a very important thing. And also the tone. We'll talk about tone, but tone is very important because same message to different audience has to be a little different in the way you message it. So very important that you look at it. But I just want to make it clear that I don't want all 6 to be in one single prompt. Not necessary. Okay. There is something called as chain of thought prompting. Have you heard of that? That's a word called chain of thought. So what I said earlier, correct, which is you take an idea, you develop it, keep developing it, right? So as you keep adding layers, you can add more context to it, give it more examples, or define the format, define the tone. So you don't need to do all of it together, but you need to do some of it. In fact, that's something that I'm going to be doing when we do the prompting exercise. Okay. Now, if AI is going to do everything, then what does it mean for us as humans? What is left? I believe there are 3 things that still make you human. And those 3 things are critical thinking, curiosity, and communication. Critical thinking, because it is you who has to think. You are the person who is in the real world. Remember, AI is a virtual world. It is based on the data that it's been fed. It has a certain worldview, but you are the guy in the physical world. You know how things are happening. You need to apply your context of things, and critical thinking is what is left. Problem solving is what is left for us to do as humans. That's why, Sam Chandy, I said, I'm going to talk about critical thinking. Second thing, everything that you need to know is available today at the tip of your fingers. You have no excuse for not learning any new concept. In fact, here is what I do. I sometimes go to ChatGPT, and my go-to prompt of this for this is treat me like a smart teenager. Why I say smart teenager? Because I know that I'm not like, don't treat me like a kid. Like I'm not a 5-year-old, correct? But I'm a smart teenager. So I know things, but explain to me like I don't know stuff, right? So that's the way I go to ChatGPT or any of these tools to learn more about things. Being curious is the only thing that we have in our control, our agency, correct? And the last thing is you are the person who's going to communicate to the audience. You need to understand the audience. You need to understand how they think, how they feel, how they perceive information. So for that reason, I want to submit to your consideration the 3 things that are going to make you human. But I'm also going to make you think about these three things. And what we will do is we will play a small game. Okay. And this is not a game, but it's like a thing to just get us started. And the rest of what I'm going to say is going to be based more on some kind of actual this. But critical thinking, curiosity, communication, three things that you need to have in order to succeed in this world. And let's take each one at a time. Let's start off with critical thinking, right? I saw this meme. I found that to be interesting. Tell me how many of you find this relatable? What started off as a very interesting thing, that you're very happy. AI can always do my job. Wow, I can use AI and just goof off, not do anything. And then you realize, boss, if AI can almost do my job, then what is left for me to do? Correct? And that is where, I would like to say that the thinking part becomes the key to it. So what we're going to do is we are going to do a small exercise. Okay. So I'm going to fire up chat GPT. So let me just fire up my go-to tool. By the way, what I'm going to do is I'm also, so I'm using some tools. In case you're not very conversant, it's okay, but I'm going to use some tools later on. But my initial thing is going to be prompting. So I'm going to use, let me also pick Claude. Okay. So Chat GPT, Claude, there are others also, but let me just pick Chat GPT and Claude. Okay. So let's do this. All of you are, can I say, somewhere MBA aspirants looking at MBA or looking at a career in management. Okay. So let's build out a app today, or let's build out at least a prototype for an app. So let's start off with the first thing, which is business thinking. Correct. So what do you think uh, is a problem that you should try solving in this world? Because eventually, if you think about it, the reason you exist in any corporate scenario is because you are solving some real world problem, correct? So let's pick some challenge that we would like to solve. So I'm going to give it, um, I am going to be joining B school as an MBA student. I am thinking of solving a real problem that students might face. Think of it as a wacky idea. I want a wacky idea that can be solved by using Gen AI. Okay, so I'm saying use Gen AI to kind of build that. Uh, Help me with 10 such ideas. See, this is the beauty. I can ask for 10 ideas, I can ask for 100 ideas. Okay. So, but at this point, I'm really thinking through what could be such ideas. Anything else that I want to think of at this point, I think I'm fine. I just want, so remember at this point, I'm just giving the task, correct? And here is what I like. I like the fact that you see this, it's actually thinking for you. Um, okay, so let's look at it. And I want you to tell me which idea resonates over here. Give me the number. AI powered networking scheduler and introducer. Okay. Customized case study generator. Virtual negotiation coach. Personalized career path advisor. Real time project facilitator. Business model canvas assistant, financial forecast simulator, ethical dilemma, decision maker, MBA time and stress alleviation bot, global business culture transformation. Okay, so I see votes for 4, personalized career path advisor. Okay, 7, financial forecast simulator. Okay. 8 ethical dilemma decision maker. Okay. We have Anandita's wanting to pick more. So 4, 9, and 10. Okay. So, but 7 seems to be this. Okay. Now, here is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give the same prompt on Claude. What do you think is the answer going to be? Is going to be better, worse? What do you think? And just tell me, what do you think? Same prompt. I'm just not changing anything. Let us see. Study session synthesizer. Okay. Case study companion. Resume ghost. What is that? Understand students' background and career goals to generate personalized variations for different. Okay. Network navigator. Analyzes your interest and will tell which would be most valuable to connect. Argument builder. By the way, I personally think this response was slightly better than the earlier one. No, what do you feel? I somehow feel this. See, this is what will happen when you use multiple chatbot. You'll feel, "Arey nahi, iska response na, I feel a little better." See, Claude, I feel it's very good for writing. Okay, Claude is very good for writing. So if you're picking any LinkedIn post or any email, any letter, my suggestion is Claude does a fantastic job. It also does something more than what ChatGPT can do, and I'll show you that. Okay, make it even more wacky. I am just saying, let me double down. Let me make it even more wacky. Dream to deck converter, personality shapeshifter, creates a distinct digital twin, financial FOMO, eliminator, networking order reader, classmate compatibility calculator. Wow. Interesting, no? Anything that you see in this list? 7 and 8, quantum case study, generates business cases from parallel with different this thing along. Procrastinator predictor. You know what? I think I like 8. What do you say? All of you good with this? Let's go with this procrastinator. Okay, so let me just do this. I'm going to pick this and I'm going to say, I really like this. Can you tell me more? Maybe draw out a prototype of how it will look. So I'm giving this. So now I'm asking it to say, what does it do? So how it works. So it's going to take inputs from various data sources, wearable sensors like your phone, calendar, historical productivity patterns, course deadline, environmental factors like weather, social commitments and energy expenditure. And based on this, it's going to create something. And here is the beauty of it. Do you realize all of you who write code for a living, it's writing the code for me, correct? So now it is giving me a nice, see, it's giving a nice kind of a dashboard of this procrastination predictor. Okay, wonderful. So I got some kind of a dashboard over here, and it says key features, productivity, forecasting, smart task scheduling, biorhythm analytics, procrastination, MBA specific, business model. Great. So I'm going to take this. Very good. Let me think a little differently. One way AI can really help you with your thinking is all of us suffer from this thing called optimism bias. Have you heard of this? Right? We always feel, "Arey, ho jayega, kar denge, nothing will go wrong. correct? But in reality, when things go wrong, you're like, boss, I could have thought of it earlier. Why I didn't? So what I'm going to do is, it's a very interesting concept called a pre-mortem. A pre-mortem, as opposed to a post-mortem, is tell me why I will die rather than tell me why I died. I hope you get the idea, correct? So why will I die? Or rather, why will this not succeed? Do a pre-mortem for the above business, which will tell why it might fail. So now I'm trying to see if there is something that could actually help. So it says, so there is data accuracy collection, privacy, ethical concerns, technology, product issues, market, model challenges. So I can say, can you turn the above risks into assumptions that I need for my business to succeed? So now what I'm doing, I'm just flipping it. Okay, these are the things that you said will go wrong. But for me to make sure that it is not, what are the assumptions I'm making? Well, this is what you're saying. You're saying people will, biorhythm sensors can accurately capture, or that users will consistently wear this, right? Or that the algorithms can establish reliable patterns from other data. So what you really have is a set of things. Like MBA students genuinely want to optimize their productivity rather than just believing they should be more productive. Do you agree? This is a huge assumption that if you're going to sell this, you need someone who actually believes in that, right? He believes that it's something that could solve it for him. So great. It's given me a lot of ways to think about it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and I think I want to do some more research on this. Okay. And this time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the help of I'm going to take the help I'm going to go back. And this time, I'm going to use, you see this? Deep research. So I'm going to use deep research, and I'm going to say, can you give me more data about what I need to know for building this app? Okay. So now what I'm going to do is it's going to take some time. Okay. So this deep research is a feature that kind of come in. So it does not give you the same answer, but it gives you some this. What platform are you considering? Mobile and web both. Correct? Apple Watch, then I'm going to say also Samsung smartwatch, real-time recommendation. Then what else? Do you have any preference? None. So this would be 4. 5, are you considering? Yes. User, do you want AI chatbot or a virtual? I want a virtual assistant. Should the app offer automated all of them? So I'm just giving it more so it doesn't directly do the research. It actually kind of this, it'll focus. And here is the beauty. It says, I'll get back to you with a structured breakdown of how you can build this app. So it is now doing the research. It's thinking it's going to take some time. While we are on this, I hope it is not too overwhelming for you. Okay. But I'm going to use one more tool that I have recently started to love. It's Grok, as I told you. It's from the this that also has a deep search feature. So I'm going to look at what is the thinking it does. So it is trying to explore. So you look at the kind of detailing you have when you're so it's thinking of what is the app concept, what are the various things required, and it is going also to the internet to search for things that are in the same space. In fact, that is what you also have. It is giving you, look at this activity, right? This is the open AI. So it is thinking about all the possible tech infrastructure and kind of reading through to think. So just wanted to take us to the next step of what I wanted to say, which is what we did now was we were trying to find an idea. But once I found an idea, I did the thinking. Now I'm going into researching. One common thing that I've heard against AI is AI hallucinates, right? AI makes up things. In other words, AI is lying. Okay. That was true in the earlier generations of AI, because think about it, what AI has been instructed is to please the user. That is the thing that AI has been told, that the user, whatever they're asking him, make him happy. So if you ask AI, tell me 10 reasons why this will work, it'll give you 10 reasons. You ask it for 10 reasons why it will not work, it will give you 10 reasons why it will not work. So it's all dependent on how you use it. But to a large extent, I think the fact that if you're saying AI is not truthful, my submission is humans are also not truthful. Correct? And this is a joke I have on that, right? And I don't know if you saw this Trump and Zelensky thing in the Oval Office, right? Uh, Weird that it's happening in the Oval Office, but really humans lie all the time. So computer also does that. But as I said, not true. Computers have a certain sense of grounding it on data, grounding it on what is available on the internet. So if in the internet the information is wrong, then your AI can also be wrong, because your AI is trained on what is available on the internet. Correct? So that's my submission when it comes to really this point of. So let's go back and let's see what we have. It is still doing the research. Okay, it is still doing research. Let's see what happened to Grok. Grok is great. So Grok has gotten the answer. So let's see. Research suggests wearable sensor data can predict productivity by analyzing biorhythms. It seems likely that combining this can create productivity forecasts. Okay. Um, Variable and data integration. Building the procrastinator requires integrating data from variables. Okay. Machine learning, productivity, user interface, survey notes. Correct. Now, all of this, if you look at it, is linkable. So if you're actually building something like this, correct, you actually have enough information to go and think. See, what happened is all of us have grown up using Google. Google was a means to the end. What I mean by that is Google will tell you five beautiful house interior decoration ideas. I go watch those five nice home decor ideas. I come back, I still have to do the thinking. What do I do for my home? But with AI, it is the end itself. I just need to tell boss, I want to decorate my house. Help me do that. So it's not a means, it is a direct end. So I think this is what ChatGPT or any of these tools can do. Um, so it gives this annual blah, 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 blah. So it gives me more, right? So giving me a lot of things, and then gives me this bunch of things that I need to know in order to develop this. Okay. So All right. So I got my research. In fact, there is one more tool that you might be knowing called Perplexity. And Perplexity can do the same thing. So I'm just giving you Grok, ChatGPT, and Perplexity. All three of them have the same feature, which is to do deep research, correct? So it is again doing deep research and figuring out more. So I already have some data over here. So what I'm going to do now is wait for this to get done. And meanwhile, while I'm doing the research, let me get to the third point. And the third point is communication. Now I have all of this. I have understood what problem I want to solve. I have done research on it. Now I want to communicate it to users, correct? By the way, here is one thing that you can do even before I get into the communication bit. I can also do this. I can say, can you create some user profiles who would be using this app? Give me both demographics and psychographics to know how they will engage and what problems it will solve. So now I'm just throwing in. So it's giving me a bunch of different people who will be using this, what kind of program, what is the kind of core challenges they face, and how will this app help them, correct? So again, I'm trying to know more about the problem. But the reason I gave this is because I'm going to show this. How many of you are able to relate to this? Just give me a yes on the chat if it is already happening with you at work. Yes. Isn't it stupid? It's crazy, right? Suddenly, I feel people are writing 10-page long documents, correct? 10-page long documents that nobody is going to read. Because today, content creation is easy doesn't mean that it should be done. Just because you can write 10 pages doesn't mean you need to. Okay? Because eventually, it is not creation of content, but it is consumption of content. Do you agree that it is harder than ever for me to consume content because I'm just bombarded with all this AI generated crap that is floating around the internet? How many of you have been on LinkedIn and you have noticed that, I kind of get into this whole thing where I start off by reading a post which is completely AI generated, and then LinkedIn gives me an option. Great perspective. I don't even need to write it. It is there. I just need to click. Great perspective. So what you have is AI talking to AI, correct? Humans are not even involved. And as someone who spent his entire life career with communication, I find that to be very disheartening, correct? I really feel content is content that has to be consumed by humans. Excuse me. Needless to say, I have used AI to create this PPT, to create this presentation, to give me ideas. But eventually, you are hearing me, who's a human, okay, who can come and explain to you or talk to you, make you think. So that's exactly the thing with communication. You can use AI to help you with a lot of things, but eventually, it is the human who has to speak to another human. And here, I would say the sender is less important than the receiver. Other words, receiver is more important than the sender. So rather than what I'm writing, the question is whether the person reading it is going to be able to understand what I have to say. Okay. And what has happened is so far I showed you tools which kind of gave you a sense of how it could be done using simple prompts. But what has also happened is there is this explosion, or rather a cottage industry of tools that are available, which are all built around the LLM. Have you ever used any? Let me know in the chat. There are a lot of tools that are built almost as a wrapper around an AI, but it is specifically picking one use case, one function that is trying to solve. So what I'm going to do is I've used a bit of, the tools, the chatbots. I gave you ChatGPT. I gave you Grok. I gave you Claude. So three. But I'll also look at tools. But any tools that you've been using, just curious. Fedly, AI speech assessment. Okay. Feedly. Okay. Feedly is, I would imagine, a thing that gets your feed, like you're reading. Any other tools? And while you're thinking about the tools, let me just go back and see if we have got, oh, wonderful. So we have gotten some, this thing, app and research. So again, if you see, telling you how to use it, what are the tools, like you should probably use Flutter. Reactive gives you a bunch of things that we could use. Well, I can research on each one, correct? And I can actually, do more research. But you see the depth at which it's doing this research, right? If I had to use something like my own, like if I had to go to Google and if I had to search for this would take me forever, correct? So all of this research is condensed, and look at the depth of the research, correct? It's doing a lot of research, lot of depth, and I have everything that I need in order to know how to build the app. Okay, great. So now I feel, by the way, napkin.ai, Gotham, great tool. I use it for presentations and stuff. So let me do this. Now I'm getting into communication mode. Okay. Now I'm saying, boss, I had enough of this. I think I've got a great app idea. Okay. Now let me do this. Let me again. I'm just kind of going between various chatbot tools, but let me this. Give me some nice names for this app. So I want some nice names. What do you want to pick? Any name, anything that. Pick any name. You know what, Aditya? I was also thinking, correct. See, I also liked it. Procrastinate. Like procrastinate. I think that's a great name. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and show you some, this time tamer is also good. But I'm just going to go with procrastinate. Let me do this. Let me build out uh, a nice brand design. So there is this tool called Luca, which is so productivity. Uh, is that a word? No, it's not a word. So where would that come? I'm just trying to think. Um, yeah, it is using AI. So let me maybe call it AI. So this point, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick something. So let me just pick, this looks like a nice AI kind of thing. What colors would I like to pick? Maybe blue gives a sense of trust. Orange is, happiness, creativity. And maybe let me just pick teal. Um, Again, if you are, or let me just pick green. So let me just pick these three. So the name is procrastinate. Uh, what could be a good slogan for procrastinate? So now I'm looking at it. Do today what others will do tomorrow. I like this. Turn someday into now. I think this is good. Love it. By the way, all the options seem to be really nice. Master your moments, very good. Work smarter, not later, great. But just for the ease, let me just pick this. Let me add a slogan. It says keep something small. That's okay. Um, Technology, this software, let's say abstract, automation. Yeah, just picked a few. Let's pick some logos. Got a bunch of nice looking logos, but okay, so it's asking me for a sign up, but I'm going to continue as guest. Okay. Um, so let me just pick this for no reason, but it's the first one. So I'm just going to pick that. Looks like this. Now, here is the beauty. Luca is going to give you the entire brand kit. Think about it. Agencies were charging lakhs of rupees to do the same thing. Correct? They were charging lakhs of rupees to do the same thing. So now I have this. If you see, it is giving me all of it. It is giving me the logo files, giving me the social profile, social covers, business card, brand guidelines, website, letterhead. You can pick your own, kind of palette, and you have all it needs in order to create a great brand, this thing, right? So now what I can do is I can say, okay, this looks good. I'm just going to keep this as a logo that I want to use. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to educate the market on this tool. Okay. So I'm going to say, what could be an interesting uh, PDF that people who want to know more about the app would like to download? So I'm just trying to think what could be something that is MBA time blocks. How? Okay, great. So it is giving me some interesting things. Great. So let me do this. Let me kind of take this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to another tool called Gamma, and I'm going to create a new one. So let me just paste the text over here, whatever we copy pasted. I want a document because it will be nice for me to this. I want to keep it, yeah, I think pageless is a good way to go. So let me continue. It's configuring the prompt. Um, let's see, want the amount of text to be detailed. I want it to also take this and generate something of its own, writing it for MBA students and professionals. I think this has got it right. Tone is correct. Images, I want AI images, or maybe I take stock images, right? I think I want to take stock images. So let me do this. Let me just expand it. So I can maybe make it 15 cards. Now it is asking me to pick a theme. I would ideally, if I had more time, you see this custom. So I can actually go and customize my theme also. But let me just pick something that is existing. This looks good. This is fine. Let me just pick something simple. This looks simple. Let me generate using this. Right? So now I'm generating something on that topic, which could be so it is still creating this. So now it is creating a document style for me. So great. While it's discussing that, let me do this. Let me also build out a landing page. Yeah. So let me build a landing page. So I go to this landing page builder and I say, I'm going to just ask Claude, describe the above app details that I can give an AI landing page builder to build out my page. Okay, so I don't do anyone who's saying, Arun, you should do the thinking. Arre, theek hai yaar, I can do the thinking, but sometimes it's easier if someone else does the thinking. This is too much of details. Just tell me the details of the app and what it does and who the people using it would be. Also, yeah. So let me just kind of this. Great. So I got some clear thing, main benefit, target users, procrastinator op. So now I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. I'm going to say, sorry, I actually did not know this is a session from 12:30 to 2:30. So I didn't realize that 12 o'clock there is a session. But I'm just going to go ahead with, yeah. So I'm going to say build a landing page for my procrastinator app. What it does, blah, 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 blah. Main CTA is download the app. Secondary CTA is a PDF titled, what is the name of our PDFs? Do we have the PDF with us? Yeah, so we have the PDF with us, giving you something. So I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to go and export it. And I'm going to export it as a PDF. And the PDF is ready. Of course, I will edit it in the actual real life scenario. I would, of course, edit it, but I got a PDF ready. So now I'm telling it, give me this. What is the name of the PDF? I'm going to say, give me a titled. So I not only have this, but I also have this. So let's see what it does. I'm going to hit on generate and I'm going to wait for it to happen. But before that, just wanted to give you a sense. So I've gotten a nice looking, let me just share the screen. So I got a PDF which is giving me this. By the way, just to give you a sense, I can always change that. If I don't like, for example, the PDF, I could have always changed it to something else. Let me just go back to where we were. So I can now go and just say whatever I said. I said I wanted it as a, sorry. I wanted it as a this. I could also say that's all. Okay. I'm not giving anything more. I've just given the title. This time I've said I want it in a presentation mode. Okay. So I'm picking the same medium, blah, blah, blah. This time I'm picking AI. So, and I'm picking 8. So let me see if it throws anything a little different. I'm going to pick different this, and let's go ahead and generate. See if we have one more version of this, but this time using, yeah, so this time it is using this. By the way, I can just delete this off. So I can just delete this. So it is just the thing. So you have a PPT version, right? So you already got the research, you got the PPT version. So it is giving you things, right, around it, not related to the app, but related to this. Again, I can save this. So that is also there. Let us see what the website is. So the website is still building, I guess. Yeah, great. So we now have an app, and I have a landing page, and the landing page is, I'm just going to clear it up. So the landing page is Master Your Time, Master Your MBA, AI productivity app that predicts your peak performance windows and optimizes your schedule. Wonderful. I have a download app button. I have a get free PDF guide. All I need to do is link this to the PDF that I've created in Gamma. Correct? Gives me powerful features for peak performance. By the way, just to give a sense, it is still building. You see, it is only 30%. So it is still building it. But let's see this powerful features, productivity pattern prediction, smart task scheduling, biorhythm analysis, adaptive learning, procrastination prevention, blah, blah, blah. Never fight your brain again. I love this. Okay. Procrastinaut is built on cutting edge neuroscience and productivity research. By aligning your MBA workload with your natural cognitive rhythms, you will achieve more with less effort. Wonderful. And it also gave me this nice kind of, thing which makes it looks. How does it work? So it is saying that it collects the data, and it gives cognitive task analysis, right? So it tells you for the tasks that you have, how do you kind of this? Great. Smart schedule optimization. Wow. So it is also telling me how you can actually schedule your day. Okay. And it's saying afternoon warning energy dip. Correct. So you know that after lunch we feel. So it's saying, you can do group meeting prep, schedule break. So even the example that's showing is very relevant to that. Correct. And it's also giving me a quote from someone who's in a top B school. So James T from Chicago Booth, uh, who is procrastinate for? It's again giving you all these people who it could be the overwhelmed first year, the career switcher. So while it is still being built, I'm going to kind of get to this a little later. Um, but it's going to take another couple of minutes for us to do that. We are roughly around 2:10. I had hoped that I'll keep the last 15 minutes for any Q&A with you, any questions that you want answers to. But what I really want to tell you is that just a thought, okay, just a thought, I was able to think through, I was able to research, and I was able to create collaterals to communicate my thought, right? And all of this is possible in less than 30 minutes. Think about it. You're going to get into B school, right? You're going to have a scenario where you're having group projects, where you're having this brainstorming, where you're having these ideas, and AI is such a powerful augment to your thinking, right? That if today a professor in your class says, I think, this is the area to be explored, you can actually explore that area, come up with a, prototype for an app and impress all in less than 15-20 minutes, right? So who is this for? It is saying very specific, who are the three kind of people who it would be for, what are the pain points, and how this app specifically helps them. So it's giving me, in fact, 5 options. Okay. And it's giving me this kind of thing of this. But while it is developing, and I'll show you the final results as we get there, but just wanted to get your thoughts on what you've been seeing so far. Okay. What is your take? Just wanted to get a sense from you, and any questions you may have on whatever we have done. By the way, this entire research can be a PDF as well. Any questions, any things that gave you this aha moment, anything that helped you think better? We are close to the end, so I just want to make sure. Is there a place we can learn a list of pages and use cases? List of pages. Oh, okay. There is this tool called, just check out this tool, Taft. There is an AI for it. That's what it says. AI. So there is an AI for that. Yeah. So it's called, there is an AI for that. And you can, I mean, you don't need to log in. You can just go and this. So any tool you see various categories. Okay, let me just sign in. Just giving me a lot of grief. So yeah. So if you see, you have a bunch of things that you can do using, yeah, save. Already clicked on save. Save. I don't know what's happening. Yeah. So if you look at it, it gives you a lot of things you can, and you can play around, right? You can play around, let's say Suno.ai. Okay. So I go to Suno.ai and I say, create a song on add jingle for procrastinator not app. So let's see. Again, asks me for logging in. So I'll tell you, Smriti, one important thing is you have to understand that we all have a digital twin. You know what a digital twin is? So what is digital twin? A digital twin is your online avatar. Okay? It is your online avatar. The person who is searching on YouTube is your digital twin. The person who is clicking on Instagram is your digital twin. If you click on enough YouTube videos on AI, enough content on Instagram regarding AI, enough content on LinkedIn regarding AI, you don't need to worry. All these social media companies will ensure that you will get all the information about AI every day in your feed. Correct? So what I would really suggest is think of what you can do to really. Are you able to hear this?
Rise and shine, it's time to go. Procrastinate runs the show. Swipe away that lazy cloud. Get things done, make mama proud. Procrastinate's got your back. Keeps you on that perfect track. Juggling life with style and grace. Win the race at your own pace.
So now you have a song that you can use to go along. Let's see where we are. Okay. So we are over here where it is given almost 80%. I almost have whatever I need. Very complex, very detailed, not a very flimsy thing. And also pick the schools, Columbia, NYU Stern, Chicago Booth, giving you some numbers. used by schools at these? What are the benefits? What are the things? Correct? And see, what I'm saying is creativity now is up to you. Correct? You can make it as creative as you want. Now, let's say you want to say, Arun, all this is good, but how about this? How about me creating a pitch deck? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a pitch deck, which is based on the website. So I'm using a tool called Slide Bean. And what I will do is, while Slide Bean is still generating, I'm going to pause and I'm going to just get your questions. And in the end, let us see what pitch deck we have. Galaxy.ai. So there are a lot of AI aggregators which give you like a bundle for a lower cost. But very honestly, I've not tried many. So I may not be the best person to advise you on this. But I do know of people who have tried out where they get multiple AI apps and there is a single, you could say, payment for it, right? So you're an aggregator. So Perplexity is like that. So Perplexity, if you see, you can ask questions from Claude, you can ask questions from Gemini, from ChatGPT, and so on. Any other questions? Anything else? I hope this was a useful session. I told you how you could be a cyborg. So it is you as a human who has to do the thinking, who has to figure out what needs to be done. But then you saw how you can use AI to scale your thinking, right? Really give your brain that extra boost to get to where you want. I'm waiting for most people on the chat window. I'm going to show you the presentation as well. Okay. So I'm going to show you the presentation as well. But before that, wanted to useful, not useful, please let me know in the chat window. This is one of the first sessions that we are doing. Harini, I'm sorry. Would you suggest getting a paid version for any tool? Harini, here is my take. If, for example, I'll give you an example, right? I will use the free version till I'm happy, till I get to a point where I say, hey, I cannot work as fast because all free apps will have a limitation. So basically, the limitation is in the tokens. Think of token as messages. One token is approximately one word. So each app will have a cap on the number of token usage, right? When you buy, you actually unlock that token usage. That's the only thing. So I think you should try it out with free. And then when you feel I cannot live without it, is when you go and pick that. Uh, thanks, Samdi. Thanks, Gautam. Thanks, Smriti, Aditya. I'm going to do this. I'm going to end it with a pitch deck. Okay. So this is a pitch deck we have created for Procrastinate, master your MBA schedule with precision. Problem is inefficient, wastage, misaligned task timing, right? What is the solution? What are the features? What are the case studies? What is the business model? See, obviously you will have to fill out some bit, but what you really get is you have a pitch deck which will tell you if I want to go with this product, correct? How will that pitch deck look like, right? So this is just an example of how, and let me just see if, yeah, it is, I think, 100% done. So I think this is the one, 100% done. Yeah. So great, 100% done. So now you see this. All I need to do to edit on any of these components is on the right-hand side, correct? So I have a complete landing page. In fact, I can share the landing page with you so you can try it out on a browser. And what I really wanted to do with today's session is help you think of what is possible and how you can actually leverage so much out there. I hope you are not fearing it. I hope you are not looking at it as a crutch. I certainly don't. I think with AI coming into my life in the last 2 years, we have been able to do so much more. And I want to also kind of give you a little behind the scene demo. And this is something that we are building out. I hope I'm going to show you something. This is, again, as I said, something that is under the wraps. We are looking at building it out. But what we are really done at Crackverbal is we have used AI to reverse engineer the entire GMAT questions. In case you have not seen this, I was actually featured on Stanford. So just to give you a sense, the URL is gsb.stanford.edu. Okay. So I've been featured on the Stanford website. And if you see, I've been called an innovative leader ahead of the curve, very kind. But just wanted to say that, it's really, so I'm just going to give you the link as well. In case you are listening to anything, like, for example, it's also there on YouTube. So I am along with, let me just pick the right one. So this is one.
But the
So
8th
this is
percentile right now.
Ethan Milik.
But like you should probably.
This is the guy who wrote the book Co-Intelligence. So I've been featured along with him in this podcast, where he talks about how to live and work in this day and age of AI. Okay. So just to give you like a very simple this. So what we are really trying to do is, how do we make AI something that you can use? So let me just say, if I want to practice, I can just go ahead and I can use this for practice. But here is a cool thing. You want Devamitra or Nita to kind of help you, or Arun to help you with your questions. But what we believe is we can actually have AI help you. So I can just ask, okay, what is the GMAT concept being tested here? Correct? So now what the AI does is it will tell you that, okay, this is the approach I could do. So now I could say, is answer B correct? Now, when I say answer B is correct, it says is not correct, and it's telling me why. Can you give me another question that could be similar to this? I can even generate questions which are similar to the question that you've seen, correct? So this is something that we are really kind of very excited, but we still have some ways to go. So it will also give you practice recommendations, give you a few other things, tell you what are the attempts. So this is still, as I said, work in progress, but something that I'm very excited about and hope that we'll get it out very soon. All right, so that's all I had. Any questions, anything, please let me know. I still have a couple of minutes. I can help answer. If not, if you have got all your thinking in place, then have a great rest of the day. Have a great rest of the weekend. Please do stay connected. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. In case you are not connected, just search for Arun Jagannathan, and you can connect with me there as well. Yeah, I see that there is also a YouTube live channel that is going on the same topic. So great, wonderful. And anything that you have, if you're watching this on YouTube, is leave me a comment below, and It'll be great for me to know if this message resonated with you and if there are any questions that I can help answer. Thank you very much, Sam, Ashwin, Darshan, Anandita. Very happy to be here. See, I think a lot of you have thanked, so thank you very much for being here. It was really great interacting with all of you, and have a great rest of the day, as I said. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.